Putin warns foreign troops in Ukraine will be legitimate targets amid peacekeeping talks. On September 5, 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin stated at the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok that any foreign troops deployed to Ukraine, particularly during ongoing hostilities, would be considered legitimate targets by Russian forces. This statement was in response to discussions by European leaders, led by French President Emmanuel Macron, about deploying a potential peacekeeping or reassurance force to Ukraine as part of post-war security guarantees. Macron noted that 26 of 35 countries in a coalition of the willing had pledged to contribute troops or maintain a presence on land, sea, or air to ensure Ukraine's security after a ceasefire. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy emphasized the need for these guarantees to begin during the war, not just after, and suggested the deployment could involve thousands of troops. Putin's remarks reflect Moscow's long-standing opposition to foreign military presence in Ukraine, viewing it as a threat to Russian national security, particularly in the context of Ukraine's potential NATO integration. He argued that peacekeeping forces would be unnecessary if a lasting peace agreement is reached, claiming Russia would fully comply with such a treaty. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov reinforced this by stating that any agreements would require legally binding documents, indicating skepticism about verbal commitments. Putin also reiterated his rejection of Ukraine's NATO membership, while expressing no opposition to its EU aspirations, framing the latter as a legitimate choice. The statement underscores the deep divide between Russia and Ukraine's Western allies, with Putin signaling that foreign troop deployment could escalate the conflict. This comes amid ongoing military actions, including Ukraine's increased attacks on Russian infrastructure, such as the reported drone strike on a Rosneft oil refinery in Ryazan, and Russia's destruction of 92 Ukrainian drones overnight. The lack of progress in ceasefire talks, despite U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts to mediate, further complicates the situation, with Putin dismissing the feasibility of direct negotiations with Zelenskyy. This rhetoric suggests Russia's intent to maintain pressure on Ukraine and its allies, potentially deterring foreign military involvement while highlighting the challenges of achieving a negotiated peace in the ongoing war, now in its fourth year since Russia's full-scale invasion began on February 24, 2022.